Okay, everyone out there listening, thanks for bearing with us. We've got one presenter that's on his way. Hopefully he can get signed in. If not, we'll hear from our other presenter, and then Chuck and I will handle the rest. But I want to welcome you all to this week's Training Tuesday. I am Heidi Reese, the Dayton Superior Training Programs Manager. Just a couple of items like normal. I just want to go over that everyone who has joined is muted. Uh, don't let that stop you from asking any questions. Please do that through the question and answer session at the end or during the presentation through the Zoom functionality. There's a chat and there's also a Q&A. So you can have at it through there. And throughout the presentation, I'll be checking those out and I can read on your behalf. As a reminder, we record all of these and you can listen to it later on. They're going to be placed on DaytonSuperior.com, the YouTube channel, as well as our DaytonSuperior.com website. And we organize them by the different product types, so they're easily found. This one will be under Tilt Up, so that you can find that. Accubrace and check it out later, or send it on its way to someone who might want to see it that couldn't make it today. So just want to remind you that this presentation is intended for training purposes only. Anything that you see within the presentation, please refer to DaytonSuperior.com for the technical and safety data sheets on those. Oh, good. And I see Brad. Are you there with us now, buddy?
I'm here on the phone, but I'm trying to get the PowerPoint up on my computer. So, okay.
Well, just let us know if you're able to do that, and we'll work it from there. So great.
Okay.
Okay. Moving right along. You guys know who Dayton Superior is, but just to remind you, we are the leading provider of engineered solutions. Well, what the heck does that mean? We not only provide accessories like you're going to see here today with Accubrace, tilt-up, precast, rebar splicing, bar supports, Cody clip. We've got chemicals for your retrofit and your restoration needs, as well as for new concrete projects. Forming and shoring is a big one. They are fully adaptable, most of them with each other. And we stand by all of that with our engineering and training. We do have engineering for the bridge deck overhang systems, as well as precast and tilt up. So contact us if you need that. Again, as a reminder, these are short and sweet presentations that are just, a quick 25 to half an hour. And if you need more custom training, Chuck and I are always here for you to get that set up. So with us today, we've got two guys, like I mentioned, that you've heard, and one of which is Tyler Huffman. And he's going to be talking to us the first half of the presentation. He is a tilt-up technical sales representative. He has a bachelor's degree from Lock Haven University, and he started back in 2015 with Dayton Superior as a field installer for Accubrace. He then moved on to do scheduling and installations and completing that day-to-day on the operations for Accubrace. And then finally, he is now our tilt-up technical team person handling the Northeast, I believe, for territory, or the whole East probably at this point for our customers. Then we're going to be hearing from Brad Fawcett, or Bradley Fawcett. He's our tilt-up rental fleet manager who has worked hands-on with Accubrace installations in the field, as well as overseeing the system for over 20 years. Among Accubrace operations and administrations, he is the tilt-up rental fleet manager, as I stated earlier, and he handles all his responsibilities around the rental of the bracing, brings a ton of experience at troubleshooting and overcoming job site challenges for our customers. So got two great guys that know their stuff here. Tyler, go ahead and take it away and tell us more about Accubrace.
Thanks, Heidi. As Heidi stated, we're going to talk about the Accubrace total bracing system today. This has been a very popular topic lately in the markets with the data center building. The Accubrace, it is an integrated inline total bracing system designed to decrease labor costs and increase project efficiency. Some of the features and benefits of the Accubrace system: it's an engineered alternative to concrete deadmen. If the project is not going to have the slab available to brace to, and you're going to have to use concrete deadmen or strip footers, the HGAs can be used as an alternative to that. And this can reduce costs through, you don't need extra concrete for the dead men or the strip footer, and also the labor that goes into that. It is a rapid all-weather brace installation system. Once the HGA is installed, it can receive immediate loading. There are no pull tests associated with HGAs. As the installer is installing the HGA, they'll monitor pressure to make sure we receive the adequate torque that is needed for the braces. The only thing weather-wise that could put a damper on HGA installation is up in the north with the heavy frost in the winter. We have ran into issues with there being too much frost in the ground for the HGAs. We are able to remove and relocate the HGAs on site. We all know that projects usually come with revisions. With the HGA system, if you need to move it, you can take it out and reinstall, unlike dead men where you have the concrete in the ground that is there once it's there. The anchor location is also adaptable. These can be installed inside or outside of the structure. We actually have a lot of projects where, you know, the whole project might go to the slab for braces, but there's a corner where the slab won't be available. So they'll have us come and install HGAs in place of that. Also, when you can brace outside to HGAs, it allows the steel erection to go a little smoother, opens things up for those guys, gives them room to work, and the steel won't be impeding on the braces. Some more features and benefits. We do have the professional engineering team, obviously, at Dayton, and if the project is in engineering with Dayton Superior, we have it available. We can do the HGA layout right in the engineering package. This will give you an X dimension where the HGA will be located, and the contractor can do the layout for the install. They're removable and reusable. Once the roof structure is in and the engineer record signs off on the braces being able to remove, we'll come out and remove the HGAs. And basically when you're removing them, they refill the hole they created on their own, so there's no cleanup. The HGA can be used with any type of brace as long as the STBC can be attached to it. And it's an 1.5 inch square bar that the STBC accepts, and that is where our HGAs are. In some instances, HGAs can reduce the number of braces needed if they're used with our Accubrace square high capacity braces. So I have a couple examples here of inside and out. You can see in the top right, we were able to do HGAs outside the building to leave room nice and clean for the steel guys to work on their part. And then also we can do inside, as you can see in the bottom picture. We have a diagram of what the Accubrace system looks like. You have your wall brace, your connection, and your HGA. The standard transition brace connector is what's going to be your connection between your HGA and your brace. And you can also see the X dimension is the horizontal distance from the panel face. That's where your contractor is going to mark out the spot for the install. Typically, the HGA has to match the brace angle within plus or minus 5 degrees. So once that HGA is installed, typically it's around 5 feet in the ground once installed. As always, if you know you're going to have a project that's going to be required to use HGAs, if you let us know and you can get us the soils report, the geotech report, we have engineers that will take a look at that, and they'll take a look at the blow counts and let you know that HGAs would be suitable for that project. Obviously, the HGAs cannot be installed through solid rock or very, very dense, high compacted clay. So we'll take a look at that on the front end and just make sure that HGAs will be suitable and that we believe will reach the appropriate pressure. HGA's install is done by our crews. We have 7 crews in the United States to cover pretty much anywhere in the country. We have 5 crews in Pennsylvania, 1 in Florida, 1 in Ohio, and 1 in Texas. And these guys will travel all over the country for these installs. The HGA layout and design can be PE stamped by our engineers also. We're going to take a look at the Accubrace components. You have your helical ground anchor on the left, which is your standard HGA. That has a safe working load of 12,000 pounds. And then you also have an HGA extension. This would be used if, say, you install the standard HGA and we don't achieve the minimum pressure needed. We can add another 4 feet. It bolts to the top of the other of the standard HGA, and we can install 4 more feet to try to achieve that pressure. In my experience installing, and I'm sure Brad would say the same thing, typically we don't need to use these. We can typically achieve the needed pressure with just the standard HGA. I can count maybe on one hand what the amount of jobs we've needed them. And on the right, you have your standard transition brace connector. This is going to be your connection between the HGA and the brace once the HGA is installed. We typically ship them out with 3/4 and 5/8 grade 8 L pins, but upon request, we can provide bolts. We've had some contractors that, just get a little bit better feeling having bolts instead of pins. So that is an option. You're going to see a picture of one of the HGAs being installed, and on the right is roughly what will be left. We will install the HGA until there is only 6 inches of the head sticking up for brace connection. And while he's installing that, as I stated earlier, he will be monitoring pressure and marking it down on a sheet that Brad will show later. If the HGA is not all the way in the ground, if you're on a job site and see an HGA that is not only 6 inches sticking up, that is incorrectly installed. That top flight needs to be completely in the ground for horizontal stability. We have the transition brace connector again. As you can see, it is an inline system. The HGA needs to match the brace angle on the panel book. You do have 5 degrees plus or minus leeway, but it works. It needs to be installed at that angle to achieve the inline system. There's a couple of different examples of different STBCs there. Installation. Typically, if you have a project that is going to require HGAs and you are also renting the braces from us, what we'll do is when we put the order in, we will let the warehouse know that this is going to HGAs, and we will already have the STBC installed on the brace so that you don't have to take it off, the wall plate off on site and connect it, because the wall plate to HGA connection is not an approved Dayton Superior connection. As I stated earlier, the STBC will attach the brace using the 5/8 grade 8 L pin with locking cotter pin, and the connection to the HGA will be a 3/4 inch grade 8 L pin with a locking cotter pin. This is a diagram of the Accubrace square braces we have available. We have 21 footers up to 33 footers, and you can see they have a very high ultimate load, the highest being the B27BF. These are not as popular anymore, but they are very popular with precasters. That's where we see most of these getting rented. We do have that fleet available at all of our yards in the country as well. We also have the Dayton Superior pipe braces. So we cover a very large range of sizes for these, going from the B0, which is a Superior 5 to 8. It's going to cover your 5 to 8 feet range, all the way up to the new Superior 62, which is a 62-foot brace that we just developed. That's going to be your Superior 52 with a 10-foot extension. We developed these mostly for the data center market. We're seeing very tall tilt-up panels and the demand for a taller brace. These need to be put together on site because they cannot be trucked at 62 foot long. So they would be shipped as 52s, and then the contractor on site would put together an extension and coupler to make the brace 62 feet long. Wall panel connection. The standard wall panel connection for the Dayton Superior braces is the standard 1-hole foot plate on the left, but the larger braces do sometimes require the 2-hole foot plate. We have those available also. And we have the bear cap bolt, which can be used post-installed. We have those in multi-use also. We have a single-use and a multi-use. The multi-use is pretty popular, as you can, get more than one job out of them, and they will be like more gold in color when you see them. We also have the 4-hole AWPP1 foot plate. That is what it will typically be on your square Accubrace braces due to the higher capacity. Typically, if you're going to order Accubraces, you would have the AWPP1 on top for the wall panel connection. We also carry our T6A heavy and T6A wall brace inserts. They come with a locator plug. We also have the inverted for outside bracing. And these are, like I said, they come with a locator plug, and they can be used with our B14 coil bolt to hook the brace to the wall. I think with that, I'm going to turn it over to Brad.
Yep. Heidi, I'm having a little technical difficulty, so if you could change slides for me, I'd appreciate that.
No problem.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. Again, my name is Brad Fassett. I'm the Tilt-Up Rental Fleet Manager. I want to thank everybody for taking the time today to join our Training Tuesday. So just to go off what Tyler's been talking about, all of our installers have a field log sheet that they use. So each anchor that we install in the ground, we monitor the pressure of that HGA going into the ground. So what we do is typically we monitor that last 3 feet to get the pressure. We log that, and then that pressure can be converted over to torque. So a lot of times with the braces that we have, we kind of already know what our minimum PSI is going to be for each anchor going into each job. Sometimes we do have to reach out to an engineer for special projects, if you will. So these can be obtained anytime you have a job. You could reach out to our Superior Tilt or to me to obtain a copy of our pressure sheets. We're starting to get a lot more requests for that. All right, Heidi, if we could switch. So I'm going to be running through this kind of quick. We just have some photos and different things I want to explain. This was in Telecenter in Tampa, Florida. We did a few years ago. As you can see in this picture, these are very tall panels. We used our square braces that have the high capacity, and that's where these braces would come into effect. Go ahead, Heidi, switch to the next one. Here's a picture like Tyler was talking about earlier, where you could brace the slab, you could brace two HGAs inside, outside. Here, this shows a picture of an inadequate sized slab. You can see the slab coming apart over to your right. That could be a potential hazard as the panel may fall in a high wind situation. Where if we had HGAs in the ground, you wouldn't have to worry about that slab. The HGAs would be directly drilled into the ground. Okay, Heidi, if we can go to the next one. As Tyler mentioned earlier, this is an inline system, right? So your picture on your left is a correct installation, and the picture on the right is incorrect. Obviously, with the picture on the right, a lot of that force and weight is going to be on that 5/8 bolt or pin. So that's going to be a weak link, if you will. So obviously we want to make sure that that load is in line through the whole brace, through the anchor, into the ground, where the HGA has that cone of influence for pressure. We can go with the next slide, Heidi. So each job, when it's engineered by Dayton Superior, we have brace angles right on the panel books that our guys can go off from. So what this picture is again, it's a lot to do with the inline system. We could check the angle of the HGA going into the ground as the guys are installing. So typically what we'll do is get the anchor about halfway into ground. We'll check that degree to make sure we're within that 5 plus or minus, and then we'll continue, and then at final installation, we'll check it again. Go ahead, Heidi. This was a big project for us a few years back, Florida Marlins Stadium. This just goes to show, like your picture on the right there, they're double stacking panels. So on the picture on the right, you could see where we've used shorter braces to brace that first panel, the bottom panel, and then you could see where we use maybe the taller square brace to brace that top panel. This was a pretty unique project for us. Okay, Heidi. Here's just some more pictures of the Florida Marlins Stadium. As you can see, I mean, there was a lot of braces on this project, double stacked. This picture doesn't do it, but we had bracing to the outside and to the inside.
This
okay, Heidi.
This one's of the University of Florida, isn't it? We did multiple layers here, just like the other Marlins Stadium.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go to California next.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 5-story building basically. So just wanted to show our high capacity braces with the very tall panels. And as we go farther and further into construction, the industry, we're learning that a lot of contractors, they're in tight spaces, so they want to go higher, not wider. So that's what developed our 62-foot brace with these data centers. The next one is out in Oakland, California. And this just goes to show that we can also brace to steel I-beams, as you can see here. We'll go to the next one. Time Warner in Raleigh, North Carolina. We're both into slab here. You can see Tyler mentioned an AWPP1 wall plate. So it's kind of hard to see, but that's what's attached at the slab. 4-bolt connection at the slab, 4-bolt connection at the panel. And again, those can be already attached to the braces, leaving our yard. So once you unload them off the truck, they're ready to go. All right, Heidi, I'll go to the next one. Here's just a picture of a guy. We're bracing to the outside here. So this looks like it's a solid panel, which is very universal for contractors. They don't have, say, a 3x6 or 2x4 solid insert they need to hit. They can kind of move that brace around a little bit to satisfy what they're doing. We'll go to the next one. Again, different style panels. As you can see, we're bracing to the outside, but on picture on the left, we're bracing on the inside to a slab floor that's already been poured in this parking garage. So, you know, we can do different levels. You can use the braces in various different ways. Once the structure is erected, obviously there has to be a plan to get these braces down and out of these buildings. Okay, Heidi. Here's a better picture of the AWPP1 wall plate. I just want to let everybody know that we actually do not have this 52-foot square brace available anymore. But basically, we have this picture in here to show the AWPP1 being attached to the floor slab. We'll go to picture 32. Here's a picture with HGAs, like Tyler talked earlier. This is on the outside of the building where maybe something was going on the inside and we needed to alleviate room for other trades to do their jobs. So we were able to put HGAs on the outside of the building to accommodate this contractor. This next picture was taken, this was a job that we were on in Illinois with a contractor. It was actually, if you can see, the top of these panels from the top to where you see the brace is actually almost double where the brace is attached. This is not a good idea. They have way more panel above the brace than below the brace, and they had a big windstorm out there. And as you can see in the picture to the right, a whole wall fell. And we don't have the picture on here, but this last panel over here, that's our skid steer sitting there. It happened over a weekend, and it missed our skid steer by probably 6 to 8 inches. And, you know, another picture where we can do inside, outside bracing. Hindsight, maybe we should have, or the engineer maybe should have braced this to the outside to get the braces out of the steel. Could have alleviated a lot of problems. But we do have that option. And lastly, it's just another picture of the Florida dormitory, just showing how, you know, if you look at these braces, you can see they're like 3/4 way up the wall. That's a good install, you know, good engineering there.
Thank you, Brad. So we actually have a couple of questions. Oh, I'm sorry, did I cut you off? Go ahead. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was just going to tell you, I was going to turn it over to you.
Okay, awesome. So a couple questions. I think one we're going to have to get with the engineers on, and it says, could you show a sample of the HGA plan in a Dayton provided engineering package? And we can't do that. I don't have one right now, right here with us. We could probably get you with an engineer. And do you want to answer the rest of that?
Yeah, so if they can give us their contact information, we can have engineering reach out to them and get them exactly what they're looking for.
Okay, Mr. Griffith, I'll go ahead and get you connected with the right person on that, okay? Then another question is, when using the 4-foot extension, should the whole extension go in the ground or is partially enough?
It must be all the way installed.
Same thing. Yeah, yep, correct.
Well, I'm glad you guys had the same answer.
Yep. The extension is just another part of the HGA. So when that extension is fully installed, it should be fully installed.
Okay. And if anybody else has any questions, go ahead and do it in chat or the question and answer area. I'm going to go ahead with the resources here real quick. So what are your resources? We obviously had a product page on daytonsuperior.com that has the Accubrace system as well as the HGAs that we have gone over. There's an installation service sheet that is out there. It looks like this that you're seeing on your screen. In addition, we have a great brochure that shows you all of the concrete construction solutions around Accubrace and the system. as well as a technical data sheet. This is only the first page of it, but I wanted to give you a preview of it. All of this, again, can be found on DaytonSuperior.com. For contact information, you have on DaytonSuperior.com the engineering phone numbers as well as the contact customer service there that you see right here. You can click on that when you're out there and get to a person that will contact you and get you all straightened out. In addition, we have TiltWorks. You can sign up for a free trial if you have not done so. Some exclusions apply, but check that out and see what can happen for you. And of course, we have the engineering for Tilt Up that Brad and Tyler both talked through. And we have a contact information area that is by regional map. So the area that you live in, you can find your map, excuse me, and your state, and you know who your contact information will be. Lastly, something near and dear, and I didn't even say it, but Chuck's in the room hanging out with me here. He's been real super quiet, but near and dear to our heart is training. I started the conversation with, if you need some custom training, then you can do that. There's a QR code here, scan it and on your screen and get to us, or simply send us an email at training@DaytonSuperior.com and we'll get back to you and get things going. So is there any other questions? All right, well, it doesn't look like it, and I appreciate all of you taking the time. I'll get you an email when this is out there. Mr. Griffith, I will talk to you through email pretty soon. And thank you, Brad, and thank you, Tyler, and thank you for all of our technical problems. And everybody have a fantastic Tuesday. See you later.
Thank you.